Massive flooding is happening in Australia. Or is there? Yes, there is. The floods are absolutely real.
The rural areas of New South Wales have been experiencing massive rainfall, with record amounts of precipitation falling very suddenly in this mostly agricultural area.
What New South Wales has been experiencing is a classic flash flood. Too much rain falls in one spot in too short amount of time. There's really nowhere for the water to go. It can't run downhill fast enough. And so it piles up higher and higher and higher, flooding fields and roads, eventually structures and homes.
We're starting now to get video of the affected areas, including amazing footage of people being rescued off of rooftops.
But this video isn't about the Australian floods. It's about how floods are covered by the media. Because let's face it, this is a visual medium. And when you're putting together a video, you want to use the most compelling images possible. Look at this rescue footage. There's a clear blue sky. This is many hours or even a day after the initial flood. This person's been waiting a long time to get rescued. And I'm so glad that they're okay. But footage like this isn't nearly as scary as footage like this.
This is the Wyangula Dam spillway, and it was some of the very first images that came out of the flood.
Several news sources described it as an inland tsunami. And I mean, that description works. Look at this mountain of water barreling towards the camera. It's really scary, but there's just one problem with it. This is not actually the flood. In reality, this is the operators of the dam preemptively making room in the reservoir before the flood. See the storm clouds coming? They're thinking ahead. Let me show you on the map.
Here's the area of New South Wales that's been affected. Up here is Wyangula Dam, downstream is the community of Cowra, and further downstream is Eugara. This entire area has been affected by the flooding. The town of Cowra experienced quite a bit of flash flooding that affected streets and water systems and damaged some structures. But way over here in the small town of Eugara, this is where the real dramatic footage was taken. You can see that the valley narrows in this spot. With less space for the water to go, it makes sense that it would get a lot deeper here. A huge percentage of these homes were completely underwater.
This was a genuine tragedy. But it should be pointed out that this town is actually on a different tributary than the dam.
You can see the water comes out of Wyangula right here, past the town of Cowra, and eventually goes past a different tributary, the one that flooded Eugara.
It's really a shame that the media couldn't just start with footage of the actual flooding, especially since the human connection was so much more real.
By the way, here's the Wyangula spillway on the exact same flood, but from a different angle. Not nearly as scary, is it? As you can see, it's an earth-filled dam built on a very good foundation of rock. This allows them to only use concrete at the very top of the spillway, and allow the rest of the channel to just be open rock.
When you have an unlined spillway, it's very natural for vegetation and trees to grow, which is how you end up with scenes like this, where it looks like the floodwaters are pushing through a forest. It's just the normal spillway channel.
By the way, here's the exact same spillway, but in November of last year. Still kind of scary, but maybe not as apocalyptic. Here's what the spillway looks like when it's running at high capacity, but on a sunnier day.
Look, I'm a journalist, and I care about getting things right. In no way do I want to minimize the impact of these floods. But the fact of the matter is that using misleading imagery affects our perception of reality. And regardless of the truthfulness of the overall story, the misleading imagery sticks in our minds, and it affects our perception of the current events and future ones. There is no reason to show footage of a dam functioning as normal when describing a natural disaster like this. Reality is plenty dramatic enough. Our thoughts and prayers are with those affected in New South Wales.